Kazakhstan's anti-nuclear initiatives are known all over the world. Kazakhstan is one of the leaders of global actions against nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. International experts recognize that Kazakhstan is playing a significant role in these initiatives. The country is also addressing these issues at the United Nations platforms, including the UN Security Council.
Фактически ядерное оружие является наиболее разрушительным из всех существующих видов.
Basically, nuclear weapons are the most destructive of all existing weapons of mass destruction in the world, and most countries are not happy with the situation and want to change it for the better. As we know, President Nazarbayev in his multiple speeches and manifesto The World of the 21st Century has repeatedly warned that the priority task for the mankind in the 21st century is to save the world from the threat of self-destruction, primarily from the nuclear weapons.
Является избавление мира от угрозы самоуничтожения. Прежде всего речь шла о ядерном оружии.
Kazakhstan has been attaching great importance to nuclear disarmament and the development of international nuclear law since the very first steps of independence. Kazakhstan has undertaken a whole range of important and consistent measures since 1991. It was possible due to the landmark decisions made by Nursultan Nazarbayev, such as the closure of the world's second largest nuclear test site and abolition of the nuclear arsenal of the Cold War. Kazakhstan's nuclear-free status was not a random but well-balanced and well-thought initiative of a responsible country.
Мы должны обсуждать на таких встречах вопросы, каким образом общественные движения.
At the meetings, we must discuss the way public movements and public organizations can contribute to abolition of nuclear weapons. In several months, a conference will be held in Almaty dedicated to the 30th anniversary of the Nevada SMA movement. The event will be attended by our colleagues from the United States, Japan, and other countries.
На которые соберутся наши коллеги из Америки, Японии, из других стран.
Japan is Kazakhstan's main partner in the anti-nuclear movement. Both countries are dealing with appalling consequences of nuclear weapons. Today, two states are actively advocating the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. I want to highlight that the world community should display gratitude to Kazakhstan for the country's active involvement in non-proliferation of nuclear weapons and the establishment of peace on the earth. Thanks to the wise decision of the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, the Semipalatinsk test site was closed, and all initiatives have been realized since Kazakhstan's independence, which was supported by the world community. Japan is also a country that has experienced all the horrors of nuclear weapons. Therefore, I think that all our goals and efforts should be united, and we are two countries that should work to ensure a world free of nuclear weapons. Kazakhstan is focusing on the topics of the non-proliferation of the nuclear weapons. The state is an active participant in major international peacekeeping processes. Experts say that Kazakhstan's experience in promoting global initiatives is truly priceless. China is increasing its freight traffic to Central Asia every year. The region is also boosting its vast transit potential. One of China's largest ports is located in Chongqing, a city with a population of more than 30 million people. Freights from the city are transported by highways and by sea and delivered to their destinations through the Central Asian countries. The commodities exported to other countries by highway transportation include the light industry goods and electrical products. We are connected to the economic region by the Yangtze River. In addition to the water route, we deliver commodities by highways and railways. The freight traffic reached 13 million tons last year. We're planning to increase the volume to 30 million tons by 2020. We're set to strengthen cooperation due to the Belt and Road Initiative. Freights from China to Europe are transported through Kazakhstan. Last year, the port of Chongqing dispatched more than 40,000 containers to Kazakhstan, and the international port in Xi'an sent about 300 trains to Central Asia. The total volume of freights totaled about 400,000 tons. The Xi'an International Trade and Logistics Park is compared to Beijing, Shanghai, and Horgos. The freight trains transport construction supplies, equipment, electronics, and garments. The port opened 5 years ago. There are 7 networks in the park. Freights to Almaty are dispatched from one of them. Every day, 2 to 3 containers are sent to the Central Asian region that connects us with the European countries. Due to its favorable geographical position, Kazakhstan is an important transport hub along the China-Europe-China route. Kazakhstan's role as a transport hub in the region has grown every year. The republic takes active measures to develop the transport and logistics sector and makes significant contribution to the regional development. Kyrgyz agrarians are actively using new technologies in agriculture. For example, in the Kaminsky district, a local entrepreneur has installed a modern drip irrigation system to water apple orchard. The businessman planted seedlings on 24 hectares, which he bought abroad. Apples of European brands, particularly Gala, Red, and Gold Delicious, are grown. The entrepreneur says that there are a huge harvest of fruits this year. Almost all the fruits are exported to Russia. The Russian Kyrgyz Development Fund is ready to financially support other farmers.
В этом году уже обильный урожай. Где-то с гектара дают по 15. Ну, я думаю, по 15 будет.
This year, there's a huge harvest. Farmers collected nearly 15 tons of harvest per hectare. The farmers will get 50 to 60 tons of apples per hectare. I received $150,000 from the IL Bank with 5% interest. I brought the seedlings from Italy because Western Europe has standards.
С Италии. Почему с Италии? Потому что Западная Европа – это страна стандартов.
В прошлом году мы запустили программу по развитию.
Last year, we launched a program for the development of intensive gardening. During the 7-year loan, we provide 2 years of vacation for entrepreneurs to pay the principal amount of debt in order to facilitate their debt obligation. It turns out that in 2 years, apples can adapt to the environment and seedlings grows into harvest. From the 3rd year, the entrepreneur begins to pay the principal amount of the debt. Preliminary results of the harvest of corn hybrids bred in Serbia have been demonstrated in the seed farm of the Sokolok district. According to the calculations of farmers, they can grow more than 12 tons of corns per hectare.
На площади 15 гектаров они посеяны, эти семена. Вот.
These seeds are sown on an area of 15 hectares. We have been offered 9 hybrids. I chose the hybrids that I know. This is a good harvest for our zone, taking into account that the spring came late.
В этом году весна была поздняя, это неплохой урожай.
Это новая генетика, которая создана.
This is a new genetics which had been created over the past 5 years by the Maize Research Institute. It gives a very good harvest with a very high level of resistance to drought. The steps are aimed at the development of seed production, particularly corn. This culture is an important fodder for livestock. The largest media event in Central Asia, the Astana Media Week, has started in the heart of the Kazakh capital. The second event has gathered representatives of the regional, Republican and foreign mass media, press officers and government officials.
Басты мақсаты отандық медиа нарықтық жан-жақты дамыту ғана емес.
The Astana Media Week's main purpose is to promote comprehensive development of the mass media and deepen cultural and informational cooperation. It is also an excellent opportunity for the participants to learn about the best practices and latest technologies, exchange ideas and experiences, improve their professional skills.
Технологияларды ел игілігіне жаратуға берілген үлкен мүмкіндік.
Habar Agency Network also presented their content at the forum. In more than 20 years of operation, the media holding established solid contacts with the largest television and radio corporations worldwide.
Конечно, может возникнуть вопрос, да, скажем так, что в погоне за какой-то информацией, да, за каким-то эксклюзивом, почему все-таки мы допускаем возможность обмена информацией. Здесь мы...
Of course, in search for information, there are cases when we still exchange information and materials with our partners. We do this for strategic reasons, because we provide information and footage that can be interesting for our partners as well. These materials are usually related to international events held in Kazakhstan. This is done so our partners can receive this information exclusively. One of such major events is a speech by the President of Kazakhstan at the UN, and we shared the footage with our partners, which they then could use.
Скажем так, мы передали нашим партнерам, и она была в том числе показана и CCTV на территории Китая, и в Азербайджане, и поляками была показана.
During the Astana Media Week Forum, there will be a tete-a-tete meeting between the heads of CEOs of Kazakhstan's leading media outlets. The parties will discuss media co-production possibilities. The forum will help expand business contacts, facilitate productive communication. The participants will be able to acquire new skills during master classes and panel discussions about the most up-to-date topics. The forum participants will also discuss the development of the national print media, the difficulties and opportunities related to the new media. Experts of international level will give speeches on topics related to digital economy and online advertising. Kazakh archaeologists discovered the most ancient burial of the Bronze Age. The sensational discovery is based on a research conducted at holy places in Pavlodar region. At the foot of the Bayanol Mountains, in the tract of the Konar Aulia cave, scientists have found stone tombs as well as household items of ancient people and animal bones. The archaeologists moved the burial place and the land disposal to the laboratory where they intend to carry out tomographic studies. The 2,500 years old cradle is of particular interest. The artifacts that were discovered have attracted the interest of foreign archaeologists, anthropologists, and restorers. At the foot of the cave, a new archaeological monument, which are ancient tombs built from the stone slabs, have been opened, where the remains of people of the Bronze Age have been found. This is a great discovery for the whole scientific world. This cradle was found for the first time. Ancient people used it 2,500 years ago. We are studying in detail all the discovered artifacts. The modern equipment and technology give a lot of information about the artifacts. Not a single hair will be lost.
300 Kazakh tourists returned to the country from abroad with the help of special touristic codes. According to the government officials, there is a special foundation in Kazakhstan consisting of 57 travel operators that provide services to about 90% of the Kazakh travelers. The Kazakh government is working on the development of the domestic tourism. 60 infrastructure development projects are well underway across the country. Kazakhstan has also introduced visa-free entry for the citizens of 67 countries. Tourists who do not have a tour code and go abroad for tourism purposes will not be able to return. Only tourists who have the tour code will come back. Everyone should require the tour code from their tour operators. A half-month calculation indicators are estimated at 1,100 tenge. It is not a tourist's duty, but a rather operator's duty.
New books on the works of well-known Kazakh playwright and Kazakhstan State Prize laureate Akim Tarazi were presented in Astana. The presentation was held in the National Academic Library. The first work, titled Jazushi Jani, was written by writer and journalist Ularbek Nurgalimulay. The book contains the author's analytical articles with the research of the scriptwriter's personality. The second book is titled Akim Tarazi as the film writer. This book is written by the critic and the Kazakh National Arts University's professor Nazira Mukisheva. The work is dedicated to the playwright's works. The book reviews the prominent script-writing work of the Kazakh film industry. The film Footsteps Led Beyond the Horizon. The author made an analysis and studied archival documents.
Шын мәнінде бұған дейін мұндай форматта кітаптар болған жоқ. Жалпы қазақ киносында бұл енді ең алғашқы, осы жерде енді қиындық сол болды.
There were no books of this format before. It's the first book of this kind. It was not easy to write it. I didn't have any examples. All archival materials and scripts were written in Russian. The documents are also in Russian. We had to translate many materials to write a book in Kazakh.
Қазақ тілінде жазылып жатқан екен кітап. Маған бұлардың барлығын мен қолданып отырған сілтемелердің бәрін қазақшаға аударуға тура келді.
Лауреат та нем бар, бәрі бар. Шетелде шығып жатырмын.
Although I am a state prize laureate and achieved an international level, I am still critical to myself because I believe that we shouldn't stop improving oneself. If I stop, it means that I no longer exist. I read my works and take notes of the best and weak parts. Writers shouldn't pity themselves. If people are content with what they have, they will not succeed.
Өзіне өзі мейірленіп тоқып болып жүрген адамнан ештеңе шықпайды. Өзін сынай білетін адамнан ғана шығады.
The library staff of the first president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, is sharing their experience with their colleagues from the regions. Atyrau hosted a meeting of the staff of museums as well as archival and book funds. The meeting participants discussed topics related to prospects of development of the library business, the use of modern information technologies in archives and museums, as well as talked about popularization of the cultural heritage as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program.
Ең бір құнды осы жинағымыздың бөлігі ол елбасының кітапханасы.
The most valuable in our collection is the library of the president. The head of state donated more than 1,200 books to our library. His family has started collecting them since the 1960s in the 20th century. This is essentially the basis of our fund. In general, now our fund includes nearly 28,000 books.
Кезде біздің қорымызда 28 мыңнан астам сақтан бірлік кітаптар сақталынады.
The meeting participants were into the history of one relic and a collection of museums program. Moreover, the portable exhibition of the library of the first president of Kazakhstan titled Nursultan Nazarbayev Epoch Person Society, which tells about stages of the biography of the head of state and the history of formation and development of the republic.
Бұл көрменің ең қызықты тұсы жалпы Нұрсұлтан Назарбаевтың мектеп жылдарындағы оқыған туындылары, кітаптары да.
The most interesting part of the exhibition is works that Nursultan Nazarbayev had read during his school years. Among them are the books of classics, including the great Abay, and works by foreign writers like Pushkin and Goethe.
Жазушысы Абай Құнанбаевтың туындыларына өте зерек мән қойып, терең мағына берген.
Today, in addition to 28,000 books, over 11,000 exhibits, which the head of state has used once, are stored in the library of the first president. All this collection is presented to residents of Atyrau. Astana Art Show, a large-scale exhibition of contemporary art ongoing in Astana, includes projects such as Metamorphosis, Reset, Optimization of Space, and the Ghost Expedition. More than 40 Kazakh and foreign artists, including artists from Central Asia, participated in preparing the vast international art exposition.
Astana Art Show это первый, самый уникальный, наверное.
The Astana Art Show is the first unique event that has taken place in our young capital. The event is dedicated to young artists and creative people who have their contemporary vision. Now the world is so full of ideas and everyone creates what he or she sees and the way he or she sees it.
Каждый творит то, что он видит, и то, как он его видит.
Belgian photographer Mathieu Lit sees Kazakhstan as a great and boundless land. He often visits the country of the Great Steppe. His photographs depicting the steppe sky and landscapes have surprised many visitors of his exhibitions in Europe.
So it's a picture I shot in different places in Central Asia. And so the aim was to there's no captions because it comes from different places. The aim was to build a kind of narrative, to build a book. So it's a sequence of images.
A variety of names and works is the main distinguishing feature of this autumn exhibition. The facade of the building of one of the capital's galleries has turned into a unique art facility. Famous Russian artist who visited Kazakhstan for the first time embodied his vision of modern Kazakhstan on the walls.
То, что я написал в этом небольшом произведении, отражает, мне кажется, мои впечатления.
What I painted reflects my impressions of architecture and certain energy of the city. There are so many horses on the facade which are related to this country. I was amazed and surprised how many artists came from all over the world who, in one way or another, are related to Kazakhstan.
Меня это поразило и удивило, насколько много художников со всех уголков мира приехало, да, которые так или иначе относятся, имеют некое отношение к Казахстану.
Some of the works have been presented at other major international exhibitions, and another part of the work has been specially created for the Astana Art Show. The works of famous artists are available to the public until the end of October.